Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Win TV. I got too many things going on right now. I am sorry about that. Uh, with this, and it seems as though I'm muted as well. So I'm going to start that all over again. I'm Denise Rollard Barnes, publisher of the Washington Informer. So glad to have you all here with this week's edition of Win TV. Wow, Desiree is telling me this is edition 26. So we've done, is it 29? Oh my goodness, 29. And you know what else, folks? We're going to talk about the Washington Informer as well, because you know I'm also publisher of the Washington Informer. And do you know that tomorrow is October the 16th? That means tomorrow will be the 57th anniversary of the Washington Informer. Our publication was started on October 16, 1964 by my father, the late Dr. Calvin W. Rolark. And if you look over my right shoulder here, I guess maybe it's your left shoulder. I'm not sure how you're seeing this, but one of our fantastic artists in the DC area actually painted this photograph or this picture of Dr. Rolark. So I keep him ever present in our programming. But yes, tomorrow will mark our 57th anniversary. So give us a shout out. We're going to talk a little bit about it on social media. We'll probably schedule some of our programming next week about our anniversary. And I am just so proud that we've been able to keep the Informer going to serve this community that needs a voice. Someone said to me the other day, one of our council members, as a matter of fact, that asked me, he said, Denise, are you the only local newspaper now in Washington, D.C.? And I would say no, but then sort of yes, because we are D.C. based. We serve the D.C. community, and in addition to Prince George's County and Northern Virginia, but we are based right here. And a lot of our other local publications have sort of a more national reach, or they're based in some other city, but they have a local edition. And so that makes us feel very special, but it also makes us feel a greater responsibility to make sure that we are keeping our community informed. So having said that, you know, we always like to get you to support us by, again, watching us on Facebook. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit share so that your friends can see this broadcast. And this broadcast is very special, and I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. But if you're watching on Twitter, be sure to follow us. And if you are a TikTok user, follow us there as well. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Washington Informer TV. And you'll see there, it's all one word, Washington Informer TV. And we would love to have you as one of our subscribers on YouTube. I hope you have picked up a copy of this week's edition of the Washington Informer. It's out on the streets now and in circulation. Up a copy at any of the newsstands. If you're not sure where to pick it up, you know, you can always call us here at 202-561-4100. That's 202-561-4100. And someone can tell you a location that's close to you, where you can get the paper again, a location that's close to you. You know, this issue also has in it, and we do this every year, our annual financial literacy supplement. And so, you know, we're spending a lot of time trying to make sure that we are sharing with our community information on really how we can build wealth in the Black community. And that's a big, big conversation that we will never stop having, because we think it's important to build generational wealth. And I'm so happy when I read articles and their quotes from people that we've talked to that talk about the importance now of building generational wealth. We are getting the message. And now it's how we put that message to work, and how we get support from institutions to make sure that those opportunities are available to us. And so you'll be hearing some more about some interview we did not too long ago with Jamie Dimon, who is the CEO and president of JP Morgan Chase Bank. You know, they've opened, and we had the bank manager as well as the vice president of community relations here on the show. And there are other institutions that we'll be talking to that really are helping us to navigate this whole financial or wealth building path that all of us should be on. Starting at the earliest ages. I mean, when a child comes into the world, somebody should be setting up a bank account, somebody should be making some investments for them. All of that should be happening right now. So we want to continue to make that happen. And I think something's going on here now, Desiree. Okay, we got that fixed. Okay, so we do have a jam-packed show. I don't know if you all are getting a little feedback, but we'll take care of that as well. We have a jam-packed show, but let me tell you about this show, because I'm always talking to my team, the folks that are here to make this show possible. Chevrie's on vacation. Give Chevrie a big round of applause, because she needed a vacation. And so she is gone, but she left the show in the very able hands of Desiree Williams, who you all are going to meet before her semester is over at Howard University. She is a senior this year, and she will be graduating in December. And if she does not mind me sharing, because she's, very modest, but she didn't tell me. One of her classmates told me this morning, and I was so happy to say I got the news that Desiree has been hired by CNN. Yes, she will be leaving us, but hopefully still supporting us in some kind of way. But she will be heading over to CNN in December, late December. And we are so excited about this opportunity for her. And I know Howard University is excited. I know her parents are excited. I know her husband's excited. Everybody is excited about this opportunity for Desiree. And that just goes to show, what hard work and dedication will bring you. And we saw it. We saw it. So, it all starts here. We're going to take credit for this. But anyway, she is producing our show this week. And boy, you're talking about really trying to pull a show together. And she has done that. And I'm really, really pleased with all of what you see today is all of Desiree's work. So give her a shout out if you're listening. Just say, yay, Desiree, go do it. And today she has gathered some fantastic guests who have some amazing stories to tell. So we're going to start off in a little while. We're going to talk to Tamani Lynn, who is founder of Women of Lynn, a women's empowerment organization dedicated to uplifting and empowering all women to be bosses through support and networking. Tamani is a Maryland native and is dedicated to spotlighting women across the nation through various platforms, including a podcast. Then we're going to have Jackie Thompson, who is the founder of Overdue Art Gallery in Bowie, Maryland, and who is going to talk to us about the importance of Black art. We had a little bit of conversation about that earlier, but I'm glad that she's here to talk about why Black art is important and how bringing the arts can bring communities together. We just celebrated Art All Night here in the District of Columbia. I mean, if that wasn't bringing folks together, I don't know what was. And I think that Jackie's going to have some great words to share with us about how art just generally can bring communities together. And then we're going to have Tiffani Evans. Tiffani is the mother of 8-year-old Peyton Evans, and we all otherwise also known as PJ. And sadly, we all heard about the tragic loss of her son, PJ, to a senseless act of gun violence in August. And Tiffani will be joining us to talk about her journey after losing her son and how she is dedicated to keeping his legacy alive. So we're glad that she decided to join us today. And as you all know, October is Breast Cancer Month, and the Washington Informer is going pink. And we have a message from Essence Powell. Let me see, did I wear my pink? I guess we had a little pink in here, Desiree. A message from Essence Powell, who's founder of Oil of Essences, about Breast Cancer Awareness Month and how you can help her to help others. So before we get on with our show, of course, we always like to have the latest news from our reporter, Curtis Knowles. And so we're going to go to Curtis and we'll be right back.
This is WIN TV News, bringing you the news that matters. The Smithsonian's National Zoo has canceled the Boo at the Zoo and Zoo Lights, two of the biggest holiday events for the second straight year due to coronavirus concerns. Boo at the Zoo, a Halloween event mainly for children, and Zoo Lights is a popular year-end light festival, will not take place this year, stated by the zoo's websites. The Zoo Light Express and Panda Claus mobile displays have also been canceled. According to a newly released memo from the Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, the Biden administration is ending mass worksite immigration raids and is instead focusing on employers who exploit undocumented workers. The memo states that courts should deliver more severe consequences to employers to reduce the demand of illegal employment and encourage workers to report violations and broaden interagency coordination. We will not tolerate unscrupulous employers who exploit unauthorized workers, conduct illegal activities, or impose unsafe working conditions, says Mayorkas. A subpoena has been issued by the Congressional Committee investigating the January 6 riots at the U.S. Capitol for Jeffrey Clark. Clark is the former acting head of the Justice Department's Civil Division. The subpoena seeks sworn testimony and records by October 29th. The committee has ramped up its inquiry over the past several weeks, seeking records and testimonies from former top aides in the Trump administration. The committee chair, Benny Thompson, states, "The Select Committee needs to understand all the details about efforts inside the previous administration to delay the certification of the 2020 elections and amplify misinformation about the election results." Two D.C. council members have reportedly decided to run for mayor in 2022. Councilmember Robert White filed with the D.C. Office of Campaign Finance to run in June 2022's Democratic primary. Trayon White of Ward 8 also plans to throw his hat in the ring for a nomination. White said that he will further explain his candidacy on Thursday in a Zoom meeting for his supporters. White stated on Twitter, "Together with the courage to do what is right and the conviction to censor people over politics, we can make the potential of D.C. a reality." This is Curtis Knowles with WIN TV News.
Thanks a million, Curtis. And so we just found out we have a little technical difficulty. So when you all see this show on Facebook, you're not going to be seeing it live, but that's okay, because we are still going to present it to you. And we're just going to keep on rolling here because we have some, again, great guests, and we're going to have some great conversations. And I'm going to start off actually talking with Tiffani Evans. As I said, Tiffany's 8-year-old son, Peyton, was tragically lost his life not too long ago while sitting in the comfort of his room, playing a video game. Tiffany, first of all, welcome to WIN TV. You know we deeply regret your loss, and we certainly don't want to forget PJ.
Oh, no
And
doubt.
yeah, so I want you to tell us a little bit about him.
Appreciate y'all for having me, first and foremost. Anything to keep my son's name going, I'm definitely willing to do it, and happy and excited to do it, because that's what's keeping me going for real. So I just appreciate you all for having me. And
yeah, TJ was in. Tell us about him. I mean, tell us what kind of.
Oh yeah, PJ was a 8-year-old boy. It was my only biological son. I could just start from day one. Peyton was first off born on Valentine's Day, 2013.
Wow.
So he was definitely a love baby. So when he came out, everybody just gravitated to PJ, and that carried on until the day he died, literally. So he was just a love baby. Everybody enjoyed his presence. He loved everybody. He was just he was a godly kid though. Like I didn't put anything else in him but to know that God was our number one provider. So he definitely was a lead of example for just being a presence that we need on this earth for real, because it's a lot of corrupt people out here. It's a lot of lost souls out here. And my son definitely just wanted to impact everybody and let everybody know that he loved him, that he loves them. And that he was just a loving kid. I mean, he never gave me any issues, to be honest. I can't even really think of a time where he just gave me a whole lot of issues. He was just a good kid. He was just pure. And I definitely miss him. So
what did he ever, I mean, I know that at 8 is always young, but did he talk about, what he wanted to be when he grew up?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I mean, for him to be 8 years old, to be honest, it's hard for me to lie about anything when it came to him. He was 8. Can't fabricate but so much. So to be 100 and transparent with anybody that asks me about my son. My son, first and foremost, he was just different. He was different, and I'm not saying different in a manner of bad. PJ was just a positive kid. Period.
Mm-hmm.
He loved football. That was his number one sport. He started getting into basketball a little bit. He just didn't have a dribble down pack, but he definitely could shoot. He loved football. I mean, he breathed football. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a plenty of days. Look, literally like a week before he passed away. Me and my son was working out. I worked out with him a lot. He had a lot of trainers that he worked with personally. He was a good kid, man, and football definitely was his push. He definitely wanted to go to Ohio State.
Wow. Okay.
High school, he wanted to go to DeMatha. Anything that Chase Young did, he definitely wanted to mimic it for real. That was somebody he really looked up to. And he always just like worshiped the ground he walked on because he a good kid. He's a good kid as well. So anything Chase was doing, he definitely wanted to model it and try to get it down pat. And he was only 8. So just imagine like the impact that he really had. It was crazy. Like P really was training since he was 3. So
Wow.
it's
Yeah.
like football, he just breathed it, you know. It's like he was
Yeah.
definitely like destined to go somewhere with it, you know what I'm saying? And that was his mindset. I just want to be the best. And little did he know he was already the best. So
Can you tell us, you know, if you don't mind, I mean, about that day?
oh man, it was crazy. So I'm gonna talk about the positive part of that day, and I
Okay.
also, ended with the negative. But the positive of that day, it was just crazy because I was just telling my nephews a couple weeks ago, a week before PJ passed, PJ was fighting for his starting position. And I don't shade anything with my son. He was on a great team. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of talented kids on my son's team. Showcase Sharks Go AU team. They
So
definitely
you said Showcase Sharks?
Showcase
Okay.
Sharks
All
AU
right.
Go team.
Okay.
It's a lot of talent. It was definitely a big squad. A lot of big guys. Like my son was 8 years old, but he was 150 pounds.
Wow.
So
Okay.
he wasn't the only 150 pounder, but it's a lot of big kids on his team, and they're all athletic. So it was like competition all summer since spring. Since he joined the team, it was just basically like I have to work, and if I don't work, I'm not going to play. And my son felt that this summer. He felt what
Mm-hmm.
it felt like to really have to earn something. So when he went through that stage of having to earn something, it was hard. It was a plenty of days he was like, "Mom, I want to give up." But
Yeah.
I didn't allow it. I didn't allow it because at the end of the day, the end result was all he wanted. And the day he died, he got the end result of getting his starting position back. So he definitely was happy that whole day on the 24th of August. So
Mm-hmm.
he played a scrimmage around 6 o'clock, played Rosedale, and dogging. My son was dogging. I'm not gonna lie. He had 2 sacks, and he told me, he said, "Mom, I had 5 pancakes." And if you don't know what a pancake is, he just basically just drew you onto the ground
Wow.
off the
Okay.
line. So he was excited about that game, just playing his heart out and actually knowing that I really worked for something. And the end result was I got my spot back. And
Wonderful.
all of that happened on the same day he was killed. So
Wow.
we left the game. He talked about it all the way into the like final seconds of his eyes closing, so it was crazy. He was just so excited to let his family know that he got his position back. He played hard. He not gonna ever give up. And
Right.
it was just it's a tearjerker for me because my son really worked his tail off to get
Yeah.
that spot back. So literally, like after just discussing it 10 minutes later, my son was killed. So
Wow.
yeah.
How do you want to have people remember him? I mean, people that didn't know him, but are there, we're hearing about these tragedies too often.
Oh man, yeah,
And
too often. You're
yeah,
right.
so I mean, every time, what does that do to you? I mean, to your spirit when you hear of
Oh
another
man.
child
It
victim?
eats at me. It eats at me because no parent should have to go through it. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? No parent should have to bury their kid. Like it should be the reverse. And it's not that anymore. It's sad that, parents really just have to prepare themselves as young as 1 years old or as young as just being born, that they have to set up everything to make sure that their kids are taken care of, because you just never know. I mean, we had 1-year-olds getting shot. We had the 12-year-old little girl that just was shot the other day in Capitol Heights. I mean, it's crazy, man. I just don't understand it, but I know that it's a purpose for me, and I'm willing to work that purpose out, and whatever God has for me to carry my son's name on, but also help the community. I'm willing to do it. So.
And is there anything in particular you're planning to do to
Oh yeah,
memorialize PJ?
so a few things that I've already started. So I had to go GoFundMe for my son. It wasn't for his burial. It was for a foundation for the youth. Just giving back to the kids that can't afford certain things, just helping their parents out to make sure that they can be the best that they can be. I mean, to be honest, all the kids want is just a tad bit of hope. And if they had that tad bit of hope, you know what I'm saying? It's going to push away all this negativity.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's not just the kids that need hope, the parents do too, because it's a lot of lost parents out here that just raising kids and don't even know what they're doing. you
Right.
know I actually planned for my son, so I was ready and prepared for the task that God gave me, and it was a blessing. The 8 years I had, it was a blessing. I don't even know what my purpose is right now, but whatever it is, I'm willing to work it out for my kids. So
And you've done, I mean, not only, I mean, were you raising PJ, but you now also are a stepmother.
yeah.
And step parents don't always have the best reputations,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
it sounds like now are they girls or boys
No,
or
they're all boys, so I don't have
okay,
any girls. So to be honest, my oldest is 18. So
okay.
um, just being in his life since he was 7
Hmm.
was crazy. It took me through a lot, but that was honestly my first child. So my son wasn't born yet. I came into my stepson's life at 7, and see him at 18 now. Of course, he had a lot of bumps and bruises through the road of growing up to become a now man.
Yeah.
Um, he definitely, like, this definitely hit him. It hit him hard, losing his little brother. So he definitely trying to show and prove himself to me. Like, I got this, mom. Like, I can do it. And I've been telling him that for years. It took the loss of his brother for him to really like have that encouragement and push
Wow.
that he
Hmm.
needed to see his purpose in life. So,
Hmm.
and my youngest he's 5, so
Okay.
just getting him to understand it's been a test. So
Right. Right. So when is PJ's birthday?
Peyton's birthday is February 14th.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah,
You
so
did
he's a
tell us that.
Valentine baby. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, so he's a Valentine baby. So he was already destined to be a love baby. So
Right. Okay.
yeah.
So, I mean, you've got an opportunity. I mean, this is hard, I know, but we're really glad that you did take some time to talk to
Oh
us.
yeah, no doubt.
But, what is it that you would want the community to know? I know you've talked about, just the help that parents need and,
Mhm.
particularly young parents or kids need hope. But what else? Is there any other message you'd like to
I, I,
leave?
so I, so I had a meeting last week with an author of a book that's called "What Do You Think?" And we sat at lunch for about 2 hours, just talking about where is the disconnect in our community. And to be honest, it's crazy how deep of a generational curse that we have in the Black community. To be honest, it's like we're just programmed to this negative, like, storyline that they want us to have for our life.
Mm,
So it goes deep for us, and as we said and ended the conversation, it's like we probably won't even see the end results because it's so deep. We probably will never even live to see the end results of what we're trying to do. So it's deep. It goes down to great grandparents. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? And we got a lot of young great grandparents out here. People don't even understand. Like, my mom just turned 70. She's a great grandmother. So
mhm,
when it goes that deep, we have so much work to do, and it's so sad because people are still popping babies out even through the pandemic. So it's a lot of work to be done. People just gotta like just stop being selfish and actually get out here and do the work. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? And gotta be willing and acceptant to the work that needs to be put in our community. We first gotta change our mindset though. So once we change that, we might have somewhere we can go with this into a positive lane to get some good results in our community, because it's sad.
Well, one of the things you talked about that I think is really, really hopeful is the word hope.
Oh yeah.
And how do we give our kids hope? How do we give our community hope, our parents hope? And it sounds like you are still optimistic, but because you talk about the negative, but you always go back to the positive, which I think is
Yeah.
a great message from one who has really experienced probably the worst nightmare of any person's life. But I like that message of hope that I keep hearing you talk about.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, because to be honest, if you don't have that, you don't have nothing. You know, that's honestly what's getting me through it, is just hoping that I can do something different to change the community. That's what's pushing me through. So,
well, you're not alone. The Washington Informer is what is it? Locking arms with you.
oh, appreciate
Feel
it.
free to call on us at any time.
Appreciate it.
We'll make sure you have our information here. And anything you're doing to remember Peyton, or just to help kids in communities all over the city, we certainly do want to be a part of your community to show support. So I really appreciate you taking some time to share your story with us.
Oh, no, I definitely appreciate you guys for having me. To be honest, I just want to keep my son's legacy alive and just letting people know that the way I raised my son on love, I want the whole world to be that same way. I think we'd be a better place. So I just keep screaming, long live PJ, long live 21. So I just appreciate you guys.
All right, Tiffani, thank you so much for being with us. All righty, have a good one. Yeah, and their moms. I think there was an organization out here that had an event not too long ago where several mothers gathered at Oxen Run Park to share some time and stories and to support one another. So I'm glad that Tiffani was able to join us. But we're going to switch gears a little bit and now have a conversation with Tamani Lynn, who is a Maryland native. I hope she didn't mind me giving her age, but she's definitely young and beautiful. 22-year-old business mentor and coach, podcast host, public speaker, influencer, and recent graduate of Bowie State University, where you got your degree in what was it? Strategic public relations. Is that right, Tamani?
Ma'am. Strategic relations.
Okay. So, I mean, how did you end up on this path? And now I want to talk about Women of Lynn. I do like that, but you're still very young and, but seem to have a sense of purpose about your life, going on to college and finishing and what have you. So tell me what motivated you?
Oh, so many things. But what motivated me specifically was honestly the community that I had at Bowie State. I didn't start Women of Lynn until I think about my junior year at Bowie State. The junior year, you're still trying to figure yourself out and what you want to do with life after you graduate. And I noticed the true need for mentorship within the Black women community, specifically in PG County. And I wanted to defy the negative norms centered around women and how we interacted with each other as well. So I thought for a really long time, women's empowerment at that time was very oversaturated as well. You see all these panel events and fancy workshops and stuff like that. And I was like, I want to bring something different to the industry, but I want it to be centered around real work, not just the fancy that you see. I really wanted to be community-based and, doing actual work within the community. So I started to ask around my classmates at Bowie State and ask them, if you were to join a women's empowerment org, what are some things that you would want to see? If you've ever been on Bowie State grounds, on the campus, you know that entrepreneurship is very heavy in the culture there because they teach you not only to embark on professionalism, but also embark on entrepreneurship as well, if you can. So a lot of the responses that I got was, I'd love to see entrepreneurship workshops or have entrepreneurs come and speak at events, X, Y, and Z, just to learn. And I thought mentorship. So that's the first thing that we had a part of our organization was mentorship and community service and a lot of different things. But the motivation behind it was truly my community at Bowie State empowering me to empower others. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. When I think about college campuses, particularly HBCUs and women's organizations, of course, my mind always goes to the Greek letter organizations, Deltas, AKAs, what have you, who I think also help to develop young women into, professional women or women of service, more importantly, as women of service. Did you happen to pledge while you were on campus?
No, ma'am.
I didn't either, but hey, it is what it is. I was just curious. So how did you, so Women of Lynn, the name, let's talk a little bit about that. I know Lynn is your last name, but what made you decide to incorporate that as a name of your company?
Thank you for that question. So what's funny is Lynn is actually not my last name. My last name
Oh,
is Lynch. However, it was a wordplay. Growing up, I was raised by a single mother, and I wasn't too in the know of my dad's side, but I carried his last name. So as I got older, I was like, I really want to make a name for myself, but how am I going to make a name for myself if I'm carrying the last name of someone I don't even know, right? So I kind of dropped off the CH and had it as a Lynn. And the more that I grew as a woman, I started embodying who I really wanted to be, my confidence. I'm super big on education, super big on service, as we said a few moments ago. And it was almost like a wordplay on the women that I envisioned myself to be. And I was just like, Women of Lynn, what is everything I stand for? So it was a wordplay on the last name that I kind of created for myself. And I think when you grow as a woman, creating your own reality is really important. You don't have to grow with both sides of the family in order to embody all that you want to embody. You can create your own story, right? So
that's fantastic. And I know, I don't know if you had an opportunity to hear Tiffani, who we talked to a little bit earlier, and just talked about, what's happened in her lifetime, and of course being a mom and then a stepmom and having, to raise to lose a child at such a young age. And I don't know how old she is, but I know her child was really young, 8 years old. And I'm just wondering, in your position, and we're not talking together with her, but how would your organization serve women, either like the ones that Tiffani talked about, but she did talk about relationships and people losing hope and all of that. How would you address address young women who she described?
absolutely. To answer that question, I think community is so important. Community will save you from so many different things, yourself amongst one of the many things, when you go through hard times in life. When you're facing adversity, when you're facing loss, when you're facing grief, you really need to go to a community sometimes. And some people just genuinely do not have that community. Some people do not have family. Some people do not have friends. So that's why we have such a large community within Women of Lynn, and we take our mentorship very seriously. Even outside of mentorship, when we go out and do community service, as often as we can within the community in the DMV area, we always make networking a thing. HBCU, that goes back to HBCUs. We were raised, brought up on networking and the importance of community. So we definitely try to help women in any which way that we can, even outside of business. Although we are primarily a business mentorship organization, community in general can do so many things for you outside of entrepreneurship and business.
So what is membership like? How do you become a part of Women of Lynn?
So you can become a part of Women of Lynn. We started our mentorship program back in 2019. It's an application process. You simply apply on womenoflynn.org. You submit an application of about 5 to 8 questions, asking you general questions like, where is your business? Where do you want your business to go? Why are you interested in mentorship? And so on and so forth. So we have applications that are streamlined through our organizational website.
And this is where women who have businesses can come and get mentorship, you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
And talk about the podcast too. What are you doing with that?
Yes. So our international podcast called the Women of Lynn Podcast. We are on a variation of platforms from Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, any podcasting platform you can find we're on. It's centered around interviewing female entrepreneurs from all walks of life. You don't have to have one particular business. You could be a florist. You could be a business coach like myself. You could have your own daycare, as long as you're just a boss, not necessarily having a business, but you embody yourself being a boss. You sit down with us and you talk with us about your journey. as a woman and how you got to where you are, and what do you think about mentorship and the importance of community and networking. You really get a really deep insight into how life is really like behind the scenes, behind the glitz and glam, and what social media has made entrepreneurship today. You really get to hear what we as women go through to get to where we're at. And it's just a really good platform for female entrepreneurs to just be raw and honest about what entrepreneurship really is, which I think we need to hear more about.
You know, it's interesting, Tamani, because I spoke with someone not too long ago, a colleague of mine actually, and we were both talking about the fact that we've gone through so many years. I hate to talk about the number, but so many years in business and without mentors. And, you know, she called me, we talked, I mean, literally almost cried together, because you get to those points in your life or your career as an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, kind of feeling isolated and alone, not realizing that there is a community out there that can help to support you or talk with you as you're going through challenges and what have you. And is that sort of what Women of Lynn does for its members?
Of course, yes. We have a system that is strategically based upon accountability partnership. So when you enter our mentorship program, not only do you have myself as a mentor, because I am your lead mentor, you get a secondary mentor, and then you also get up to 2 accountability partners, which are also mentees a part of the program. Each and every month, each mentee gets a one-on-one with me, whether it's 30 minutes to an hour. Outside of those meetings, you can additionally book calls with me whenever you need to, but it is a system that is strategically based on community and accountability partnership. And then through that, we have a 12-month program. That's basically what it is, to assist you building your brand from the ground up. So to answer your question, we have multiple different avenues of mentorship within the mentorship program, where you have an accountability partner, a secondary mentor, and myself. So we have multiple lanes.
And lastly, I'm just going to ask, you know, if someone was involved or wanted to apply and was successful in becoming a part of the program, what would success look like?
Oh, that is such a good question. Success can look like a lot of different things. Success to some could be monetary. Success to some could be simple impact. Success to some could be just achieving the dreams that you had set aside for yourself. Success to me is truly being able to change the lives of the women around me in any which way that I can, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's simple community, whether it's just anything. So success is definitely what you define it to be. It doesn't always have to be monetary. It can be, making a change. And I think we need more of that.
I love that answer. I think that's fantastic. And that's kind of the thing that keeps us going. The paycheck, of course, allows us to pay the bill, but it's the bills. But it's that service that you talked about, and the difference we make in the lives of others in the work that we do, that we select to do, I think is great. And I'm glad that you're out there. Sounds like a fantastic mentoring program. I got to check out the podcast, and wish you much success as you help others to succeed.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Surely. Have a great day.
You too.
All righty. So, that's a really positive, I think, approach. Thank you, Desiree. I guess it really sort of laid it on us today, and that we're going to keep it going, because we have Jackie Thompson now, who's the owner of Overdue Recognition Art Gallery, and I can't get past that name either, Jackie. Overdue Recognition. It's almost like God. What was the movie? I can't think of it, with the Nassau women. What am I thinking of? Help me.
I can't think of the name of it either, but I see where you're going.
10 Figures.
Yeah, 10. Yes. We get asked a lot what our name means.
Right. Right. So tell us what it means.
So when we were searching for a gallery name, of course, we were thinking of naming it after our, someone we knew or something like that. But our the gallery represents over 40 African-American artists. And we're here as a venue to showcase their excellence. And they haven't always been getting the recognition that their peers have been getting. So we, we want our venue to be a space that, we're giving them that recognition that is long overdue.
That is fantastic. I think it's, there's so many artists throughout history of African American artists who, they're long dead and gone, but folks are finally taking some time to recognize and appreciate their art. And, it takes individuals like you to share their stories and to help to promote them, because otherwise, it's like, who knew? So can you tell us a little bit about some of the artists that you are promoting in the gallery?
Yes, definitely. I'd love to. The artists that we represent, most of them are mid-career, but we do have some emerging artists and some master artists as well. So some of our master artists are James Denmark, Paul Goodnight. We do have some Jacob Lawrence's here, and Elizabeth Catlets we sell as well. Most of our mid-career artists, our more famous ones, or more well-known artists, should I say, are Charlie Palmer, Anthony Armstrong, Calvin Coleman, Levi Robinson, and Al Burtz are some of our mid-career artists. We just picked up a new emerging artist, and his name is John Lister III.
So when we're talking about art at the gallery, tell us the mediums that you're promoting as well.
So most of it is, of course, visual art. So we have originals here, and we have reproductions here, sculptures as well.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And where are you located?
We're in Bowie, Maryland, about 15 minutes outside of Washington, D.C., in the well-known Bowie Town Center, right on the corner, actually, by Macy's.
How did you decide to open a gallery? Or why did you decide to open a gallery?
Well,
the how and the why, because I want to know how too, because just getting all this art, studying the artist and knowing who to have in the, that's a process as well. Mm-hmm. So talk about both.
So I've always loved art, and my husband wanted a business, a family business, and after we surveyed the DMV area, we didn't find any African American art galleries. And we saw that there was a need, and we opened. We've been open since 2004, so quite a while now is when we got started. Getting started, it's about building relationships, mostly with the artists, and then again with the community. So artists actually send in submissions every day to be a part of the gallery, but we're very selective about who we bring into the gallery as representation. But it's building relationships with the artists to see about getting their works out there.
And people can come and purchase the art. I'm assuming that's what the purpose of the gallery is, to help to get that art on off of your walls and onto the walls of your patrons. Is that correct?
Yes, definitely. We are here to help the community build art collections, which is a whole nother subject about, just getting the art out there it can be an asset on your portfolio, on any financial portfolio, to have art in it.
That's interesting because, people that do, I know folks who really do a good job of collecting art. And I don't know how often they even think about putting that on their house, insurance policies, in case something happens. And something else we talked about a little bit is the valuation of art. We know how much we purchased it for, but, like you said, mid-level artists or like Jacob Lawrence, I'm sure is a very expensive piece of art. But, have you observed whether the insurers actually understand the value of that art?
So
you can't replace it, but, the loss is important.
So we do. You should definitely put your art collection on your insurance policy. It's a rider that you get, and sometimes it is difficult because it is African American art and it hasn't been around, should I say, as long as other art. But definitely, they have to value it, definitely. So you keep your certificates with it. Like I said, you put the rider on. Your purchases of it, and all of that goes onto your insurance. So if something unfortunate does happen, let's say a fire or theft even, you can get your insurance value for it.
Well, I'm excited, for another reason, because I love having my folks around me. And one of our former assistant producers, I'll call her, of the show, Blair Hardison, just walked in a few minutes ago. And as you're mentioning artists, and she's a young woman now, Jackie. I keep talking about age, but she's been exposed. I'll put it that way. And as you're mentioning the artist, she's nodding like, oh, she knows that one. She knows that one. And so, I mean, at some point, how do we, I think about even little kids sometimes, little ones who, we tend to put their drawings up on our refrigerator when they're young, but we don't really talk about art. How do we build the value and interest in art at a young age?
So that's a great question. We love when children come to the gallery, and a lot of the parents don't even realize is sometimes the child will come in and they're like, oh, mommy, we have that piece. And the parents are like, we didn't even notice they noticed the piece on the, so you have to take that into account, that your children in your own home are seeing, what's hanging on your wall. So that's a whole nother collectible piece, is that you're helping children see other queens that look like them. Family values can be seen in art. You can even have art as a teaching point. So here at the gallery, we do encourage families to bring their children by, walk them through. We do a lot of tours with children, Girl Scouts, even some classes come in, and, we do tours with them and talk about the importance of art. And I always tell parents, because we'll have parents come in sometimes, say, our child is really into art. And I'm like, encourage it, because
Right.
you never know, what could happen. And you don't realize that art helps in so many other educational things. It's wonderful for math and things like that. And because they are taking art out of a lot of schools, because of the financial part of it, especially in our community, we're such an artistic community that our African Americans, should I say, need art. So it will help them excel in other parts of their education as well.
Well, I feel bad that you may have missed a customer, because I heard your phone ringing in the background. I don't want to be responsible.
Someone got it.
Okay. I was like, oh my God, there's a customer. But, do you all have any special events coming up? What are you going to do for the holidays?
So we do have a couple of things. We're actually having a huge annual that we've had every year except for last year because of COVID. We're having a Halloween bash. There'll be live music here, tapas, wine is an event that we're having, of course, all surrounded by African-American art. We have a Facebook Live art show coming up, and it's called the Big Small Art Show, and it's going to feature all small originals by some of those artists that I mentioned earlier. So that's a great one. That one is on October the 28th, and then of course the Halloween is the weekend of Halloween, October the 30th. We also monthly, we have an event called Art in the Afternoon, and we were talking about the educational part of art. So what we do is it's a small group. Maybe we have about 30 people come in, and we talk about the importance of African-American art, why you should collect. We give examples of people that do collect and have been successful with it. And we talk about putting it on your insurance and how to preserve it with framing. So it'll be, in your family forever. So that's an event that we have. That event is on our website with the dates.
Well, that's fantastic, Jackie. I hope that we can inspire other folks to keep your phone ringing, and so that they can right now with COVID and everything, is the store open? Is the gallery open, or do folks have to make appointments to come in? How does that work?
So on Mondays and Tuesdays, we do have by appointments only, because we know people are still want to be safe, and we want everyone to be safe. So you can make an appointment for Mondays and Tuesdays for a private showing, or let's say you just want to come in for framing. And then Wednesday through Saturday, we're open from 11 to 8, open to the public. And then Sunday, our hours are a little short, 12 to 6.
We want to put your phone number up real quick, because I want to hear it ring again.
Right.
And the number is, how can they reach you?
Our phone number here at the gallery is 301-383-2875.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, we're going to put that up. And my last question before we go is, because we are getting into the holiday season, there's a lot of conversation about, store shelves being empty, the supply chain's been broken, people can't get things, ordered, but it's all right there. I mean, what, when it comes to gift giving, does art make a good gift?
Art is an excellent gift. Excellent gift. You can give flowers, you can give, perfume or whatever it is for the holidays. And you know yourself, you've probably gotten those things. And then in a few years, you're like, what did they give me? Or what do I have? But art, you're always looking at it. It's so personal. It could be surrounded around so many things. And then we also have gift cards. So it can also be an experience. Let's say a mother and daughter, they buy them a gift card and then they spend the day together, looking at art and deciding on which piece to get. So art is definitely a great gift.
All right. I love that idea. Thank you, Jackie. I wish you much success. Overdue Art Gallery. Did I do that right? Overdue Recognition Art Gallery. I wish you much success, and I'll see you in person one day.
Great. And thank you for everything that your father and you all are doing. The newspaper is definitely much needed.
Thank you so much. All right. Have a good one. That's a good idea. I hadn't thought about that. Thank you, Desiree. You just keep piling them up. But that is a great idea for a gift, because it does brings back memories. It makes you think about, that person, that time, that reason, all of that. So, Blair can tell us all about the artist that we don't know anything about, but she does, and that's a good thing. And so now, as we talked about a little bit earlier, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And this is a tough time, but it's a good time for a lot of people because, breast cancer doesn't have to be anything that really has to, what am I trying to say, that will help cause you to lose your life. It's preventable, all of that. And Essence Powell, who is founder of Oil of Essence, has learned, lessons in her way about breast cancer, but really wants to spend time helping people with their hair, which is probably help, that will also help to provide resources to people who are breast cancer organizations. So anyway, I want you to tell your story, Essence. Welcome to WIN TV.
Well, thank you for having me. Really, it was just my way of trying to give back to the community. With my business, I really make sure that it's not just about selling hair products and making money. Like, I really want to build a community around my business and just always just share opportunities. So really for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I wanted to give back to Black women specifically because growing up, I never really heard about organizations giving directly to Black women and their plight that they go through with breast cancer. So I found the Alliance for African American, I forgot the name exactly, but it's a breast cancer alliance for Black women that just focuses on bringing mammogram sites to women around the area, giving up opportunities and resources to help women with breast cancer and just build a community, because I know a lot of women suffer alone with breast cancer and they don't have to. So it was really just me trying to give back and also just spread awareness information, because I know a lot of people, I speak to a lot of women in my life who goes, yeah, I don't really get a mammogram. I don't really care about it. And it's just like, no, you need to make sure you stay on top of it. So I made sure I just do my own research and share it to people around me. I made a post recently about mammogram sites around like the biggest cities where I know my customers shop, because most of my customers are women. Women are the ones who care about their hair the most. So I just wanted to bring that platform, and just other things I do like around big times around the year. I just make sure that I shared all that information.
So the question, though, to me is, there are a lot of causes that you could have selected to support, and I'm glad you mentioned the fact that you try to encourage people in your life to get mammograms. But why breast cancer? Why was this so important to you?
So breast cancer has always been something that I just always thought was important, but it wasn't until recently where my mom She found a lump in her breast. Luckily, it was benign, but it was just that feeling of the unknown in the future. I just saw so many things just flashing in front of my eyes, and I was like, I've been blessed enough, and she's been blessed enough to find out that she's been okay. But what about the people who aren't? Who's there looking out for them? Where's their support system? Who's giving them the opportunities and resources to get the help they need? Because it's a sad truth that Black people don't get the help they need in the healthcare system. So even though I'm not directly in the healthcare system, I still want to be able to bridge that gap between the Black community and having trust in the healthcare system to receive help, because science is here to help everybody live a long life. So I just want to do that.
It's interesting too that you would have oil of essence, which is a hair care product, and in a time when women who do happen to have breast cancer often find themselves losing their hair,
right?
To figure out, what to do. I mean, there's this attachment, like you said, that women have to hair, but then they sort of lose that attachment. Then there's all these different things they can do. But tell us a little bit about Oil of Essence and how you came across this as a company that you wanted to start.
So it's kind of funny. I started Oil of Essence not really wanting to start a business. It was just me struggling to grow my own hair, and just, after a certain age, your mom's just like, okay, do your own hair. And I was just stuck like, okay, I'm not exactly sure what to do. My hair was breaking off. I was struggling. There's so many pictures of the past. It's just like, who told me that was it? And at the time, this was like freshman year of high school. I was getting really heavily into YouTube and the natural hair community and just the DIY natural hair care movement. And I just started playing around, making my own oil concoctions, and I just started to see results. And I would go to school in high school, and people around would be like, oh, what would you do? What are you doing to your hair? And I'm like, oh, I just use some stuff I make at home. And it's just always this quote that sticks out to me because I'm from New York. And this girl was like, well, if you put it in a bottle, I'll dead buy it from you. And I was like, hey. Well, if that's the case, then I will. So every day after school, there was a beauty supply store around me. I would get little applicator bottles, fill it up with the oil, take plastic bags, wrap it up so it wouldn't spill in my bag, and just disperse it around my high school. And then people was like, oh, oil from Essence. And I was like, oh, okay. I just really like how that has a ring to it. That's a ring to it, definitely. And it was just that sense of community, because honestly, without that one girl telling me that she would buy my hair products, I wouldn't have all of this, because I didn't really see opportunity. I was just trying to help myself. And doing that, I was able to help hundreds of women who were suffering from not finding the proper hair care products, because I learned that one of the popular hair care brands at the time literally switched their entire formulation to better suit looser hair textures when their main audience is, people with the type 4 hair texture. And it was kind of just like, okay, well, clearly they're not caring about us and our hair and what they're putting in those products. So I care. Let me see if I could do it for other people. And this is where I'm at now.
So I'm putting you on the spot, but do you happen to have a product nearby?
I actually don't. I'm actually home right now, and all of my stuff is at school.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would have been something nice to see, just to know what the label, because I'm sure, did you have to go through a whole issue of labeling and all that?
Yeah, it was truly a learning process, because like I said, I really didn't sit down and completely plan it. A thing with my business that I don't see often, it was kind of just like a whim, basically. Like I just kept going with the flow and just trying to find new things. I would just test different ingredients and different labeling, different packaging, different shipping methods, and all of that stuff. So yeah, it was a really long process. I really wish I had something to share. Oh yeah.
No, there we go. Those
are my products. That was the sale I was having to donate to the African American Breast Cancer Alliance.
Wonderful. Yeah. That's fantastic. That was on was that on Instagram?
Yeah, it was on Instagram.
Yeah, so that's where people find you. That's good. And I'm gonna say, because I would think that the product is for men as well as women. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah. My thing was, a lot of people always ask me, oh, when are you going to make men's hair care products? I'm like, I already have them. There's this marketing scheme that tries to make men's hair products and women's hair care products when it's the exact same thing. And it's just really about researching what the products are. So my products are definitely male friendly, people friendly. everyone friendly. Everybody can use Oil of Essence.
Well, how can you get it? I mean, is it available in stores? Where can you get it?
It's currently not available in stores at the moment, but I do have a website that you could purchase at. I know Howard students specifically could purchase and pick up on campus. I just offered that recently, and other like local delivery options for the Maryland area.
Okay, all right. Are you a Howard student? I didn't ask.
I am. I'm a senior.
Congratulations, boy! And what's your next step? Or is it business, or what? What are you going to do
It's
next?
definitely business. My degree will be in supply chain, so I'm just really working in the corporate field for a little bit. Get the opportunities and the hard and soft skills that you wouldn't necessarily learn just running a business on your own. And definitely, I just hope to implement those things in the future to continue to run Oil of Essence, explore new business ventures that I have planned and stuff like that. So. Yeah, those are my plans after graduation.
Well, I could use a little. Now, I've been wearing these locks for a long time, and you can see my hairline is beginning to go back. So I don't know if you will be able to do anything with that. But I believe in natural hair care products and a whole lot of other things. So I'm gonna check you out. And again, I hope folks will support you, because every dollar they spend, not every dollar, but I guess a portion. How does that work for the donations that you're going to do for breast cancer?
Yeah, so those specific products, were 1 buy 1 get 1, so you get a deal. But also the sales, half of the sale would go to donating to that organization, so they could help fund all the things that they need, and just my way to give back in the small way that I can at the moment. I know I'm not the biggest business at the moment, but I really do hope to get bigger so I could donate more and do more and just provide for my community that literally built me to where I'm at, and potentially could build me further. So it's just all about giving back for me.
Well, that is fantastic. Everybody starts somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as long as we keep supporting, and that's the whole part of supporting one another, I think that's a great thing. And I've heard that through the themes with all our guests today. It's just hope and support and love. So, your product is putting some love in your hair.
Absolutely. Every single product bottle is made and packaged entirely by me. So you feel the artisan craftsmanship, so to speak, directly. So everybody who orders, I remember their name. They come up to me, it's like, I placed the order. I'm like, what's your name? Oh, I remember. You placed the order this time and ordered this. How is everything going for you? You like it? And they send me stuff. And I'm just like, oh, it makes my heart so warm to see people having better results than me. It sounds crazy. I'm like, how my product's working better for you than me. Okay,
but that's all right. You just stay in there creating, and then you come up with something and there's so much more I'd love to talk to you about, because you talked about the 4 different hair textures and some other things. So we might get you back on before you graduate and go off into the big world, but to talk a little bit about hair care, because I think it's a great topic. Yes. And there's a lot going on with our women today with what we're doing to and with our hair. So I think
it's a really big
to have you back. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Essence, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
We will and congratulations on graduating sometime December
May.
or May. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So best wishes to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Take care. Desiree, we did it. Thank you very much for a great show. I certainly do appreciate it. Sherry will feel very proud that you were able to carry this week. And I certainly did enjoy every one of our guests that you had today. I learned a lot, but also, I think our community learned a lot through the folks that we were able to talk to. I'm inspired, if nothing else, by all of them. And of course, inspired by you. Again, congratulations, you're going to CNN. Maybe we need another couple. No, we're going to continue to be Win TV, but congratulations to you. And for the rest of you all, don't go away, because we have Sounds of the DMV coming up next, as well as the Media Prince, who will be joining us. So have a great weekend. We will see you next week. And it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so make sure, as Essence said, go out and get that mammogram. See you next week.
Yo, let's talk DMV, baby. So much greatness, litness, and epicness in all areas of DC, Maryland, and VA. So, in my Nicki Minaj voice, let's get into some things. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to What's Going On DC. I'm your brother, the Media Prince. Let's dive straight into all things DMV. First up, congratulations yet again to Southeast owned Taraji P. Henson. Her TPH by Taraji is now in Walmart. First it was Target, now it's Walmart. She making that cheddar. Take a look.
I want it, I got it. I want it, I got it. I want it, I got it. I want it, I got it.
We are not done with you yet, Miss Henson. She also just let the world know that she will now be doing music and letting the world see her as an artist. Take a look.
Musical theater taking me back to my roots. So it's about just continuing to challenge myself. And I thought, I kept saying that music, I might have missed it because I became a mother so early on in college, but God has other plans for me because the music is just really falling in my lap. Like started with the Muppets, and through the Muppets, I booked Miss Hannigan, and it just keeps coming. So I'm gonna ride the wave. Why not?
Why not? Congratulations to DMV's own Alex Vaughn, who just signed with LVRN. Yeah, Summer Walker's home. Hey, this is so freaking epic. Watch the moment now. Did you know Wale partnered up with Samsung to take us into his world? Okay, so I'm not alone because I didn't know either. Well, let us all catch up. Let's take a look, shall we?
This is Wale. I'm here with my Samsung people, and got a little photo shoot, a little studio time. We're checking with y'all in a little bit. Holla. You ready for the first look? Yeah. I'm a little nervous. Psych. Oh, these still in. See? They're so comfortable. We're gonna go to the studio, we're gonna listen to some mixes. This is actually the last day that we got to record this album. It don't stop. You already know what it is. My buzz though.
Hyattsville, Maryland welcomes its first mobile shower program for homeless and others in need. I know, that is so lit and so awesome to see it coming in new places in the DMV. The address for it is 6201 Bellcrest Road. I know it's homecoming season, but I'm sorry to tell you, the alumni of Howard University, the campus is closed to you all due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Don't feel bad. My school did the same thing, but we still gonna party though. Hey, DMV, listen closely. Do you love carryout? Do you need employment? Well, the Washington City paper is now hiring a carryout food critic. Hold on, let me apply. Here are all the details. The Capitals released their 2021-2022 season roster. Take a look. Are you vaccinated yet? Here are the stats of the DMV area. Take a look. DMV's own rapper Logic, and yes, Logic is from here. Yep, they got that Billboard #1. Well, he is now an author. Welcome to the world, sir. It's beautiful here. Take a quick look.
Hey, what's up? I'm Bobby Hall, also known as Logic. I've got a memoir, This Bright Future, available on Audible. I'm gonna be presented with stuff that I've said in interviews a long time ago. Just so funny, I think about this kid who doesn't know anything, doesn't know what he's doing. What did you buy with your first big check from rap? Taco Bell. Yes! Let's go, dude. What's your favorite cartoon character? Fry from Futurama? Oh, Brian from Family Guy. Damn. Brian. My top goals in life were to become one of the biggest rappers in the world. Spread a positive message. Ha! Wow. This is really fun, man.
Check out DMV's own Chaz, French, and Cicero next weekend at the DTLR Presents I Am Festival. I want to congratulate all the dope people who made the DMV 35 under 35 and Buzzing under 35 list presented by myself, Made in the DMV, Just One PR, and the Washington Informers. Congratulations, guys, and keep doing the amazing things that you're doing for the DMV. And don't be fret if you didn't make the list. There's always next year. And trust me, we see you all working. Lastly, I want to congratulate my fellow kings of DMV Media. Yes, the Washington Informer Bridge, Big Mouth Media, the DMV Daily, MO Boombox, Music on the Dot, the Porch Standard, and Jukebox DC. Together, we are showing unity in the DMV's media world and creating an epic infrastructure for our people here. Check out our articles now on the Washington Informer, Blog Now Events, Made in the DMV, and Lunar Magazine. And make sure to join us tonight for an exclusive soiree. Well, that's it, folks. We have ended another week of What's Going On DC. Shout out to all of you guys for continuing to do epic stuff here for me to talk about. And we thank you for all the love that we are getting. I'm glad you guys are happy with us incorporating more Virginia and more Maryland. Because that's what the DMV is, baby. It's all of us or nothing. For all this and more, head over to wibridgedc.com to read up on everything you've missed and all the Bridge greatness. Follow and subscribe to us on YouTube and social media and hit the hashtags WGODC and WIBridge TMP style. Okay? We're signing off. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Be safe and turn up.